Hey guys! So today we're going to talk about weird things that I've noticed about the British since I've moved here. If you're new to my channel, basically I've been living in the UK for 4 years almost, more specifically in the south of England. And I do mainly videos about language and culture, and this is a cultural video. One of the weird things I've noticed in the UK is that most British houses have separate taps for hot and cold water in their kitchens and bathrooms. If you've never seen one, here's a picture. I actually did some research before doing this video, and by research I mean I googled it. And these taps are called pillar taps. However, you're more likely to find these pillar taps in older houses because in more modern houses, usually you have mixer taps. Again, here's a picture. But to be fair to British people, pillar taps are not only common in the UK, but also in other countries such as Portugal and probably others as well. Another thing that I find a bit weird about the UK is the fact that for university to pay for your fees, you can borrow a student loan, which a lot of people don't ever repay. University in the UK is quite expensive because for each year that you study, you have to pay £9,000. And as you can imagine, a lot of people don't have that kind of money. I mean, I certainly didn't. The reason why many people don't pay it back is because to pay it back, you need to earn a certain amount of money, which is £21,000 a year, which in England is a pretty decent salary if you're single. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's an amazing thing for students because when you graduate from uni, you often struggle to find a job or earn a decent living wage. But I think it's weird because I don't know how economically valuable it is if people just don't pay it back. I don't know if it's only weird for me, but in the UK you can buy bags of ice, like ice cubes. And it's weird because in France it's not possible, I don't think, to find that. I've tried to find some once in Paris and I couldn't find any at all. But to be fair, I think it's pretty convenient and I just kind of wonder why we don't do the same thing in France. Something that I find weird in the UK, and maybe it's the same thing in your country, is the fact that here all plugs have switches. Obviously I was expecting for the plugs to be different, and if you've never seen a British plug before, here's one. But I had never heard of switches near plugs, so that means that when you plug something, you have to make sure that the switch is switched on, otherwise whatever you plug will not work or your phone won't charge. I can't even tell you how many times I tried to charge my phone, left it for 3 hours and came back just to find out that I forgot to switch on the switch. Something that I've noticed a few times is the fact that when British people do the dishes, sometimes they don't rinse off the soap very well. So roughly what will happen is that when they do their dishes, some of them will not rinse them properly and just leave the dishes to dry with still some soap on it, and then just go live their lives basically. I actually challenged a friend on that a while ago, and her reply was just that the bubbles would dry off. Guys, what is this about? Now, something controversial, and I know I will get a lot of hate if British people watch this video and comment, but I don't understand baked beans. I mean, I've tried, but for me, beans that taste sweet is something that is way too wrong. Maybe it's my Portuguese culture speaking, but for me, beans are savory, not sweet. Sorry guys. Love you anyways. Okay, now something that really weirded me out when I first moved in here is that people over text are super affectionate sometimes, and they will usually add X's at the end of their messages, and X comes from the expression XOXO, which means kiss and hugs, so X is a kiss basically. And sending kisses to someone isn't weird, it's how often they send X's to people that is weird in my opinion. I remember I was doing a uni project with a British girl, and at the end of all the messages she would send me, she would add an X to it, and I was very confused because I was like, why is she kissing me at the end of every message? Is she saying goodbye? Should I stop texting her? Is that the end of the conversation even though I still have things to say? It was so confusing. But obviously over time I realized that it was basically used as a term of endearment. Speaking of terms of endearment, British people usually tend to use a lot of affectionate terms to refer to you, like sweetheart, sweetie, honey, lovely, etc, etc. And if you're not used to them in your culture, that might be a bit weird, but it's perfectly normal. It can be quite friendly. It can also be romantic, obviously, but you know, friends in England can use that between them, basically. So don't be too freaked out or weirded out if that happens to you. The thing that actually kind of shocked me at the beginning is the fact that in sixth form, so in high school if you're American, and at uni, usually students will refer to their tutors or teachers by their first names. And in France, doing this is a big no-no. You would only do this if you're close with your teachers, for example, your friends, or whatever.
Oh my god.
But otherwise you would never do that because teachers and tutors are seen as being superior to some extent, so it's inappropriate for you to be on a first name basis with them. So if you take that into account, you can imagine how difficult it was for me to call them by their first name at the beginning. I might have mentioned that in one of my British stereotypes videos, but for some reason British people, and often women, tend to underdress even during cold weather conditions. So during the colder months of the year, it's not that unusual to see women or men going to clubs and being underdressed. So for example, men will wear only a shirt when it's like super cold, and women might maybe just wear a dress and quite a short one, maybe sometimes with tights, but not always. And to me that makes no sense, and I actually wonder how they don't catch pneumonia. Like, what is your secret, guys? And I would like someone to explain to me why this happens as well. This one is especially important for you if you're traveling maybe to the UK, and it's the fact that in bathrooms normally you will never find any plugs except from razor plugs, so that means that any device that you will normally use in your bathroom back home, you won't be able to use them in a bathroom here in England. So you might wonder, how do girls like dry their hair or whatever? Well, they just go to another room, maybe their room where they have a mirror, and you know, they just find other ways. Okie doke, so that's it for today. I hope, as usual, that you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you thought about the weirdnesses of Britain. And if you know of any other things that you think are weird about the UK, then feel free to share that in the comment section. That'd be quite nice to read. Now, on that note, I will see you next week. Bye!